Next on America's Day at the Races, Grade 1 placed identity politics. After tackling one of the top sprinters in the country, nosedives in class in search of his second career victory. In today's 8th race, Direct Order makes his Belmont debut after collecting 2 winter wins at Aqueduct. Will the form translate to Big Sandy? And Saturday's card, it's loaded at Belmont. Can Focus Group deliver off his biggest win yet in the Grade 1 Man of War? We'll talk all about that Saturday card and much more coming up on this edition of America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. It's also brought to you, of course, by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Our usual cast of characters is up on set this afternoon. I'm Greg Wolf, joined by 4-time Major League All-Star Paul LoDuca, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling. And our feature race today, this 8th race, we had a big scratch, obviously, sniper shot coming out in there, but very excited to see Burning Through Gold, who just ran this group off their feet at Gulfstream in that maiden win last time out, right out of the gate.
Yeah, 15.5 length winner, Andy, and I don't know where it came from, considering the first 2 races. The first race was good, and then the second race was not that good, and then this happened.
Yeah, he had a bit of a mishap in his first start of his career. It took him a while to get back to the races. Obviously needed that start. Now, maybe he was just a new horse getting loose in the front end. And Gulfstream, contrary to popular belief, is not some big speed track most of the time. But he certainly did well on the front end. He caught a big scratch with the Todd Pletcher sniper shot coming out. And he's a prohibitive favorite. Mark Hennig, his barn is looking up. He's running in the Preakness next week. I guess Bourbon War is the horse running in the Preakness next week. And Achilles Warrior in the race before, the 7th today. He could be the biggest thorn in the side of identity politics with his speed.
We will see how it plays out. He's going to be a short price in that 8th race. No question. He is the horse to beat. You could play all these races and bet all the races each and every day by getting signed up and started with NYRA Bets. New customers can earn a $200 new member bonus when you use that promo code LIVE at sign up. Deposit, bet, and watch replays from all your computer or the NYRA Bets app. Go to nyrabets.com or download the app to get started. Weather and track conditions. Presented by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone. Main track is fast, turf condition listed as good for today's action. And you have joined us just in time for the start of the Late Pick 4. Races 6 through 9, which we'll be bringing you today. And the 6th race, we're going to talk more in depth here in just a moment. But we'll kick off the sequence. Appears to be a wide open group. 6 furlongs over the inner turf. New York breds in a $40,000 maiden claiming event. Right now, our favorite on the board, kind of a mild favorite at 7-2, Andy, Kathy's Cause from the inside.
Yeah, I mean, between the 2 Kathy's Cause, the 3 Funny Money Honey, and the 9 She's Not Bluffing, one of them will be favored in this race. They're close in multi-race bets. The Kathy's Cause does come out of a good-looking 3rd place finish last time out. The problem with her is twofold. First of all, horses that came back out of that race did no running in their next start. It was, though, the day that we had all that rain. It wasn't running a rain-soaked course. But also, she has been in a number of races, if you look 4 back and 3 back, and even last time, where she made winning moves, got perfect trips, got herself in front, only to fall apart in the late stages. And she's just an extremely unreliable horse. She is one that I am trying to beat.
Quite a few unreliable horses in this field.
Well, this is a wide-open race. Anytime you get fillies and mares getting on the turf, some of these getting on the turf for the first time. I even think the 6th Alpha Betting has a turf effort first time out. That wasn't that bad when she was a 2-year-old. So there's some prices to be had here.
Yeah, it's a strange race.
Here comes our post parade. Crater Rim's going to break in the middle of this field. Joe Bravo for John Pregman Sr.
Have no idea why this one is a long shot. 11-1 right now. This one's turf races are every bit as good as most of the horses in the field.
John Pregman Jr., excuse me for that. The 2 Kathy's Cause gets the real Dylan Davis. Jimmy Ryerson.
Yeah, broke very sharply last time, then was wrangled back, and Dylan made that move, and she just got out, finished late.
Start number 2 is the turf debut for Funny Money Honey, the 3, Charlie Baker.
My top choice and my best guess in here. The dam did win in the turf. There really is a little bit of turf pedigree, but thought this one gets some big class release.
Big long shot in the 4 who tried turf last start at this level, wound up 5th in a field of 11.
Well, her dirt efforts were awful. She got left last time and rushed up. She showed way more speed, so I get it that she prefers turf, but she's going to have to improve.
Margie Cat, at least the only other time she tried turf, it gets a lot better.
She did no running that day, and she's been in horrendous form. She's a big long shot.
I'm trying to be positive. Alpha Betting, the 6, it's 25-1, Mike Lezzy.
Yeah, and I think this horse got a long shot look. Broke dead last in the debut, and now as a 3-year-old, if it can break a little better with Mike aboard, it can be a shot here, 25 to 1.
Bellavia Mi Amor for John Terranova.
Not the worst long shot for a sharp barn. One turf start was going long.
First time starter we'll see next, and taking supports for Rudy Rodriguez, daughter of Big Brown.
Yeah, debuts with Lasix and gets Irad Ortiz Jr. And seems like Rudy's been winning a lot of these sprint type turf races.
9-2 on She's Not Bluffing. Kendrick Carmouche rides.
Getting bet off mediocre dirt form and has no turf pedigree. Not my kind.
And daughter of Verrazano trying the turf for the first time. High Lee like Lee for Greg Matisse.
Yeah, this one is the daughter of Horace Greeley. He's going to try the turf for the first time. She's 44 to 1. She's the longest shot on the board.
Smart Throb, the 11, Eric Consell. 0 for 15.
Yeah, has had more chances than anybody in this race. Has a lot of opportunities, but maybe not in his field as limited as this one.
And Seattle Frost here. Rider who's won 2 today already, Benji Hernandez.
Yeah, and I think the best thing for this filly is to get taken back and make one run. She has a couple races that can maybe put her in the try here.
You could get in on today's action without risking any of your own money. It's a free online contest, and you're competing for real prizes in the showdown. Go to NYRA.com/showdown. Watch your name climb that leaderboard. Again, it's free to enter, so go to NYRA.com/showdown. Get involved. You're playing for NYRA Bets points and a Belmont Stakes prize package. Good luck to everybody. Pick 4 coming up next. 124,000 plus in the pool this afternoon. Let's take a look what Paul LoDuca did.
Well, I thought this race was difficult, so I'm going to go deep in here. 1, 3, 6, 9, 11. I told you 6 is my long shot. Race number 7, 2, 3, 4. I really love Payne a ton, but there's just not a ton of pace in there. And Achilles Warrior could be that pace. 3, 7, 9 in race number 8. Burning Through Gold is the horse to beat. I think Family Biz and Mo Gotcha could be a horse. And then I like the Chatino horse in the last, along with the 10 mandatory payout. I didn't know which Altroster horse to go to. I'll go with the horse that's cutting back in distance.
All right, so that's Paul LoDuca's pick 4. We are 4 minutes away from the start of the sequence. Let's check in for the first time this afternoon with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys, and we'll check in on my end with the first-time starter, the lone firster in this field, maiden 40 for these New York-bred fillies, and that is number 8 in here. That's Slammin' Sammy Brown, a daughter of Big Brown, though out of a dam Suzanne Marie's Gold, who was a much more proficient dirt router. There's really not much turf pedigree to speak of on the bottom side, and ultimately, I think why they put this filly on the turf first time out, besides her being by Big Brown, is that she just seemed a little bit weaker behind. And when horses kind of struggle in their hind end, the turf is just a much more forgiving surface for them. It doesn't break away from them as the dirt does, and it just lets them get that kind of grasp of a surface beneath them to propel themselves forward. Now, she's very well prepared. She's fit, great coat on her. She's fine, and she's taking money. Obviously, she has Irad Ortiz aboard, as Rudy will look to win back-to-back races after taking her 2-year-old race for the New York Breds earlier on in today's 5th. She's okay, but I like to look elsewhere, and we'll look at 2 horses trying the turf for the first time. Number 9 is She's Not Bluffing. As you heard Andy say, not much turf pedigree, especially on the bottom side, and is by Verrazano. It's funny as you have that Verrazano, El Padrino, La Maquina, now I'm forgetting her name, but anyway, they were more dirt horses, and it's funny because the dam was a Giant's Causeway. Verrazano's more than ready, but he did run on the turf, don't forget, in the last 3 races of his career in England. And he handled it okay against tough company. And this gal actually looks as though she should handle this surface change. She's a bigger, more robust type. She did get a little hot, but she's not acting badly by any means. She just got a little warm, and maybe that's in her wheelhouse to be that way as she does take that drop in class. I, like Andy, I am interested in number 3, Funny Money Honey, for Charlie Baker, a horse that comes out of a pretty live maiden special weight on the main track, won by Newly Minted, who came back and won a stakes in her next start in a Stallion Series stake. And she just looks as though she benefited from that start. She's much more tucked up, Funny Money Honey. She has a turfle, very flat type of foot to her, and she has enough pedigree, at least from my perspective, to say that this surface change should benefit her, and I just think having a start under her belt has really moved her forward. Greg?
There's really nothing like experience
No, not at all.
to pay dividends in here. But having said that, the first-time starter, the 8, definitely intriguing here. The daughter of Big Brown for Rudy Rodriguez.
Yeah, because she doesn't have to be a killer in here to beat this group at all.
Right. Her dam was 0 for 5 on the grass. She's not a turf pedigree, and it's Big Brown, but he's not an effective sire. Whereas a horse like the 3, who has a race of experience, ran a very strong field. Newly minted, came back. I think we saw her win, actually, in our last show we did at Aqueduct, her next start. And Central Banker's a Speightstown, so he could certainly have a turf influence there. And the dam herself did win on the turf. So there's a little bit of turf pedigree for a very good outfit. And I think Funny Money Honey might have found herself in the right field if she can handle the grass. It's always a big question, but she's got more turf pedigree than a horse like the 8 by a lot.
Yeah, and in the 9 too, she's not bluffing. Verrazano with the Pine Bluff on the bottom side, dropping it for 40, and horse is drawn the 1 hole 2 times in a row, and sometimes horses can get intimidated down there. Now she gets the 9 hole with Carmouche. I would think she's going to break a little bit better and be involved early. She's the favorite now, Andy.
Yeah, she's a bad favorite in here. People are grasping at straws. Doesn't mean she can't win. Verrazano did run turf in Europe, and he's more than ready, so you get turf influence there, but you have a negative turf side with Pine Bluff, and they're just desperate. And this horse looks a little better on paper than he is. He really did very little running in a couple of okay. I mean, he lost to a very good horse last time, but he finished almost 10 lengths behind him.
Meanwhile, remaining half of the entry, Crater Rim, double-digit odds right now at 11 to 1 in here.
Why is he 11 to 1?
I don't get
his
it.
His turf sprints are not good, but they're good enough that he could contend in a race like this. Or she, I should say, excuse me. And, I mean, I think that they're just sort of betting the 9 because the horse ran okay on the dirt, and they're hoping the firster for Rudy Rodriguez with Irad Ortiz can run a little bit. It's like they're betting horses for the wrong reasons in this race.
The start, and we have a late scratch here that looks like the 5 is going to come out. Margie Cat, it was a huge long shot. If she runs back to that start 2 back on the turf, is that good enough to win here?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, obviously, you've got first-time starter and first-time turfer, so you don't know. But in theory, yeah. I mean, I bet the three to win, and I boxed 1-3. I don't know why the 1 is such a big price.
I get it, and I understand where Andy's going with the 3. The 3's got – sometimes when you get in these kind of races, you go 0 for the least, right? And that's the 3. The 6 in here in 28 to 1, that race at Saratoga in a full field with a 44 buyer at 13 to 1 got bet. That doesn't equate to 28 to 1 in this field.
Well, with more to add on a class dropper in here, let's go to Maggie.
Number 7 is Bella Via Mi Amor for John Terranova. She makes her 3-year-old debut here, and not one that I think is going to love the 6 furlongs. I have to be honest. That's a major problem I have with her, but she is more of a turf horse. I love the way she warmed up. She's grown. She's filled out. She looks as though she's well prepared, but then again, you kind of get the feeling that this might be a stepping stone, but look to her to maybe run well here beneath Luis Saez. Right connection certainly in her corner, and guys, yes, that was a late vet scratch on number 5, Margie Cat. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. Yeah, Margie Cat the 5, so vet scratch comes out of the race. Horse, it was 30 to 1 morning line, but favorite as they load up inside post for the 2-horse. Kathy's Cause, Jimmy Ryerson, Dylan Davis, Larry Collmus, the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown, with the call to kick us off here on America's Day at the Races on MSG+.
Here comes Highly Likely up to the starting gate, along with Smart Throb. Crater Rim is moving in. And here's Seattle Frost up to the outside stall, and they're all in line. They're off. And it will be Funny Money Honey who goes up and grabs the early lead. Alpha Betting Away running in second. Seattle Frost is third on the outside. Kathy's Cause and Minute Mouse are right behind them, with Bella Via Mi Amor and Smart Throb on the outside. And then it's Crater Rim, followed by She's Not Bluffing, who did not have the best of starts and is 8 lengths off the lead. Slammin' Sammy Brown at the back with Highly Likely as they race past the opening quarter mile in 22.12 seconds and move for the far turn. Alpha Betting is now the leader by a neck. Seattle Frost on the outside second. Funny Money Honey off the pace, now a length and a half off of them and guided to the outside. And then it's Kathy's Cause, followed by Minute Mouse. Smart Throb outside of them. Crater Rim is down toward the inside. It's going to need a path through. Crater Rim looks to have run, but no place to do it. And they're coming to the top of the stretch. Seattle Frost off the turn in front. Funny Money Honey attacks on the outside. Second, Smart Throb is third. Then Highly Likely down the outside. Crater Rim in between horses. Minute Mouse is there. And then toward the inside, it's Kathy's Cause. But as they come to the 16th pole, Funny Money Honey's running up the score. Funny Money Honey romps home by 6 over Crater Rim. And then it was Highly Likely, followed by either She's Not Bluffing or Smart Throb.
Funny Money Honey taken to the turf. Second time out. Turf debut for Charlie Baker and Junior Alvarado. We have a little news on, too.
Sort of showed us that this horse was going to run when he broke as sharply as he did. Let the long shots go. An excellent ride by Junior Alvarado. And then he just angled out in the turn. Obviously worked himself a perfect trip. But, Paul, he was an hour and a half the best. And completing Mike Cole, 3-1 exactly.
Yeah, the one weaving through traffic. Good job by the jockey Joe Bravo, because he had a weave in and out and got this horse up for a second. Yeah, but no doubt about this horse at 4-1. Looked like a 1-5 shot as she's going to jog. And she stops the class nice. She comes home sub 12 seconds here. So
well, she ran and she found the right field if she was going to be a runner. I mean,
yeah.
Honestly, the way she won here, she might have been able to win a New York bred maiden special weight race the way she won this race. I mean, she won by 6 or 7 lengths.
No, she really did. 110 and change. And I just like the way she finished. And you're right. I think she's going to find a nice little place. And Central Banker, like Andy said, son of Spitestown, who like the turf. The Central Bankers are starting. He's gotten off to a good start with the turf runners. Yeah.
No, and I mean, he was a freshman sire last year.
Yeah.
And he stands up McMahon in Saratoga, and he has been doing very, very well.
Can I have this trifecta, please? 4-1, 12-1 over 84-1.
Charlie Baker on
You're
fire.
the Mr. All.
And here's the thing. The 10 made a big move in here.
Winning trainer, Charlie Baker.
I like that picture we have of him in his suit.
The 10 took to the turf for the first time. The 1 was overpriced. You get the 3 and the 10, 2 horses getting to the turf for the first time win, and you get the 1 who figured, and boom, there's a nice little try like you're saying.
4-1, decent start if you're alive in this pick 4. Nice exacta call, Andy Serling. Rudin Riddle might think about holding the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. They have a pretty nice lineup there right now. Game winner there, and now Country House joining him. Kentucky Derby winner moved up via disqualification. We knew Country House was out of the Preakness, developed a little bit of a cough. He's on antibiotics. Now he's going to skip the Belmont Stakes as well.
And people should know they're going to go to Rudin Riddle. They're precautionary. I mean, it's not. They're just, they're obviously going to make sure with all these horses that there's nothing wrong with them. And I don't think Bill Mott thinks anything seriously wrong. And hopefully we'll see him pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we will. And, it's just, like you said, it's just like precautionary and making sure everything's okay with the Derby winner. It's unfortunate we don't get to see him run, and I think he would have been a decent Belmont horse to play, too. I think he would have liked it out here.
Belmont has another good
I know.
Tacitus is his Belmont horse. I mean, he kind of thought that all along, even going into the Derby, that was going to be his Belmont horse.
You know, unlike most people, when they say he's a Belmont horse, it's some big, lumbering, slow horse. Tacitus is a big, lumbering, fast horse.
Yeah.
Funny Money Honey gets the job done. Here in race 6 to kick off the late pick 4 at odds of 4-1. Junior Alvarado, new addition to the family. We'll have that later in the show as well as he gets the victory here in the 6th. Focus Group has turned it on of late for trainer Chad Brown, winner of 4 of his last 6 starts. Can he break through in the Man of War and collect his first Grade 1 win on Saturday? We will talk about that when we come back on America's Day at the Races.
Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy Flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Runhappy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Racing. Race number 6 in the books, and it wasn't funny money, honey. It was all funny money, honey, in this race. And Junior Alvarado aboard. Junior, congratulations. I mean, this filly won by about 6 in the end. She really took to the grass today. Yeah, I mean, I get to warming up. She seems, she was kind of like ready to give me a great performance, but you still, you never know, But, like as soon as she broke out of the gate, right away, she put herself in a good spot. So I kind of knew, what I had under me, and it was just a matter of time, As soon as we turned for home, get it to the clear. And I mean, just, ask her to run. And I mean, she was all out there for me. She was very impressive. Looks as though it was a maiden special weight performance. But also, congratulations to you. Birth of your 3rd child, a son, a baby boy a couple days ago. Yeah, we're, all the Alvarado's family and Short family, we're all very excited with the new addition, another joy to our life and, just enjoy from now on. And Junior also riding in today's 8th race, a 3-year-old by the name of Mo Mystery. Broke his maiden first time out for Jeremiah Engelhardt. You were aboard, came up a slower type of race, but do you feel as though he was one that could move forward from that effort? Definitely. We never thought, he actually could have that speed and that he was actually going to win. We were trying, it was more like a teaching race for him that day. And all of a sudden, he kind of wake up a little bit. Still, I thought he was very green, turning for home. He kind of waiting on the horse in the inside that day. And, very spotty at the end. But, since then, I got the chance to work a couple times. Very good, very. Still, I can see, mentally, physically, I think he's ready. Mentally, he's still not 100% yet, there yet. But, like I said, he's been working very good, and I mean, I think, he's in a group where we should be able, to fight pretty good there. All right, Junior. Well, best of luck later, and congrats to you. You're kicking off the late pick 4 in the right kind of way. Thanks, Maggie. All right, guys, we'll see what Mo Mystery can do a little later. Exciting long shot proposition.
And we'll also see a little Axel Thomas right here for Junior, the new addition to the family. Look at that beautiful family Junior has. The name like that, Axel Thomas. Right? Be a good writing name, huh?
Yeah.
Axel Alvarado.
And Junior.
I'm thinking Junior's wife does not want this horse to be a jockey.
Yeah,
Isn't that what every jockey's wife, they say?
Probably
I
not.
don't want my children to be jockeys.
We're talking about Tanya Luzzy, who was talking about Lane and Mike riding. She's got to hold her breath like twice a day. And, yeah, but yeah, pretty
Lane's
close
a good rider, by the way.
And Junior is a great follow on Twitter. He's actually really funny. He does a lot of funny stuff in the jocks room. Great guy.
I prefer his wife because she likes a lot of my tweets. So I'm favoring Kelly.
Pick 3 here comes back rather large, $884. We had a 3-5 favorite defeated back in race 5.
Yes.
2 to 5.
First time starter.
2 to 5.
Yeah.
For Todd Pletcher, Rapoli stable. Did not get it done.
12 to 1 in the first leg.
Yeah, $9,900 pick 5 that ended with Sky Up Hook, and then if you started with Sky Up Hook, you're already going to get close to $9,900.
Good chance that this pick 6 carriers be a carryover in the $85,000 to $86,000 range tomorrow if it doesn't get hit. But we do have a big favorite in this race. Well, I don't think that Identity Pilot's going to be 4 to 5, but a reasonably big favorite. Burning Through Gold's going to be very short in the next race. So the possibility exists of a reasonably short price horses, but still, tough start.
7th race, we move along. Entry-level allowance at 7 furlongs in here. And yeah, Identity Politics dropping out of the Grade 1 Carter was actually second in the Grade 1 Malibu to McKenzie. But we'll see. Facing a stablemate for Chad Brown in Payne, who's coming off a big maiden score, but hasn't been seen since July of last summer. The last couple numbers from this horse, too, have been less than stellar.
Well, he was compromised, Identity Pollock, by a complete lack of pace in the Carter. I think you can give him a pass for that. But you do have to worry about a horse that's been short prices and has 3 seconds in 7 career starts.
A horse who beat him 2 starts back was a horse who broke his maiden for 40 maiden claiming on the turf.
But he's a legitimate 90 buyer horse at the
He's
time.
gotten better, yeah.
So I don't think it was a phony race. But I don't disagree. He lost a race at 4 to 5. He was supposed to win. And with a lack of pace in the race, Achille Warrior, who's a talented horse in his own right, he could have a real tactical advantage.
That's
Paul.
the worry, yeah. As the 4 in here has all the speed, at least early. And if he can get away from this group, Dylan Davis, then the 2 and the 3 are going to have to make up some ground. The 3 is very, very talented, Payne. Obviously, he's had his issues, but I really think he's got a special future if he can keep it together.
We'll talk more about it coming up. I want to remind you guys, don't be late tomorrow, okay? We have a graded stakes race right off the bat in the opening race on the card. Saturday, just a loaded afternoon of racing here at Belmont Park. We start with a Grade 3 vagrancy right off the bat. And separation of powers. Grade 1 winner of the test. Beat, of course, would go on to win a Grade 1. Humana Distaff and Mia Mischief in that race. Makes her return for Chad Brown.
And she ran very well in this race. It wasn't particularly fast-paced, and she made a move on the turn to get it done. A dual Grade 1 winner, having won the Frazette as a yearling. She's been on the sideline a lot in her career, and that's been her biggest problem. But she is training very well for this race, and she's supposed to be in a good stalking position outside of the Luch horse, who Luch guaranteed me was going to win.
Yeah, right?
He's never done that before.
Yeah,
No.
right?
Going on a limb.
Yeah, that's a 2. And the thing is, the separation of powers draw is great. And if you take out her 2 races around 2 turns, she's pretty darn good. She should have won the victory ride. She had a horrendous beginning.
She stumbled badly.
The only race she's really lost was her second start, and they stuck her in a Grade 1.
Well, she
got
yeah.
drilled in a speed duel.
Yeah, she drew the rail, and it really hurt her
Yeah.
chances. She's a very, very nice filly and doing well going this race.
Another filly making her return for Chad Brown. Race 7, the Grade 3 Bogey. That is competition of ideas. Now, look, Grade 1 winner of the American Oaks last time out. But the 2 main threats in that race, Paved, California Gold Rush, they didn't show up at all. She ran down a 90-1 shot. It was on the lead. What do you think of that win in the American Oaks?
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I think those are very valid points, Paul. But
she was
Greg,
still
excuse me,
impressive.
But the thing is, the horses that were 1-2 around the track finished 2-3, and she came from dead last and slingshot around the field. So nobody else made up any ground. I think that's one of the things that worked against horses like Pave. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. I thought she was a very impressive winner of this race, and she's a horse that was very much coming to her own late in the season.
She was good. I mean, when you go out to California and win, it's really hard to gauge. When I was out there, horses that come in from the East Coast, they just dominate. So you don't know how they're going to come back here, but Chad usually has them ready. The interesting filly in here is the 5, Homerique. I mean, she's got tremendous credentials, Andy. I mean, she's got a neck of winning Group 1 in her 3rd career start. She's got 115 time form rating. Now she's in Chad's barn, and IRAD gets aboard. I would think she's got to be a nice filly.
Homerique is a quality filly, and I think we'll see her probably the New York Handicap on Belmont on the eve, Belmont Stakes Eve during the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. And I even said to Chad Brown, she's got a horse that you might try the boys going longer because she wants more distance. The thing is, she wants more distance. This is a 1 1/16. She's a horse who her worst race by far was at a mile in the French Oaks. Her mile and a quarter mile and 5/16 races are solid. She's a very good horse. I totally agree with you, but I have a feeling she's going to need this race.
She was right there with Lawrence in the Prix de Diane, Group 1, who's an amazing filly mare, Wild Illusion.
Yeah.
She was a length behind. It was second in the filly and mare turf. I mean,
she's good.
Absolute class. And now with Chad Brown, she'll make her States debut, 9 to 5 morning line.
I think Homerique is a horse we're going to hear a lot from this year. I just wonder if this is more of a prep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Man of War feature race of the afternoon, Grade 1 and Focus Group. Coming off a Grade 2 win in the Pan American at a 1.5 miles for Chad Brown, seeks the first Grade 1 win of his career.
What's the deal with Belmont, and he just doesn't like it, you think, or 0 for 4 over it, or just been a little unlucky?
Which were the races he was in that he was supposed to win? To tell you the truth, he's improving. I'll be honest with you. I think he's a highly dubious favorite in this race, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he does well. He wants more distance, got a great ride and a great trip in here to come up the rail to get the narrow victory. I thought he lost, actually. This is a quality field. I understand the Chad Brown factor. He probably ends up favored, but I don't see on paper why he's necessarily better than a number of horses in here. I think he can win. He has some improvement in him, but this is a highly... You really telling me he's supposed to be 5-2 and Channel Maker's supposed to be 6-1 in here, Greg?
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a very tough spot. I mean, we saw this horse at Belmont last summer, and his stablemate beat him in a just worlds easier field. Obviously, he's got better since then.
Yeah, but no, I'm with you. I mean, it's not as though... Listen, I hope he does well. I always root for Focus Group.
And he needs a lot to happen in front of him, too, right?
I agree. I don't think he's supposed to be favored in this race, to be honest. The other ones look solid, but I think he's the most dubious of them. Not to say he can't win.
He is loaded on Saturday with horses coming off layoffs, and he's usually pretty good at that. 231 days for separation of powers, coming off the longest layoff of his formidable group, but could be a very big afternoon for Chad Brown. Hope you join us tomorrow. It's going to be an outstanding Saturday of action. 5 stakes races on the card. So,
nice weather, too, right?
Yeah, the weather has been tremendous, right?
I have to tell you, Aiden O'Brien's got 2 horses in that race, too, by the way.
Yeah, right. I mean, Magic Wand,
don't forget,
runs a race. I wonder if mile 3 is a little far for him.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Jonathan Kinchen, our colleague, the 2015 NHC Tour champion. He was alive at the Pick Six on Derby Day going into the big race. How did it pan out for him? I haven't seen him for a while. Might have gone well. We'll have that next.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearling manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Runhappies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So first we have a colt out of Rapid Repair. He's a really nice colt. Very happy with how he's come along as a yearling. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one of a kind, high speed, high stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NYRABets.com.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast, a multiple Grade 1 winner and runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. Flatter is adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record at stud. In the auction ring, Flatter topped the 2018 Fasig-Tipton July Seal with a $520,000 yearling. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Kentucky Derby Day. Jonathan Kinchen, I'm the 2015 NHC Tour champion, also a co-host of the In the Money Players podcast. This is my 11th Kentucky Derby in a row. Everyone is awesome. I'm super excited about it, and I'm looking forward to this one. I love Improbable in the Derby, and hopefully we can get him home. Here with this 4. Hi-ya! 10-1 winner. That's a nice start to the Pick Six. Yikes. I worked with Davis Webb's father for like 6 years.
You coached?
And I did, yeah. And he was also my high school teacher. Thank you, my love. I'm gonna probably cry during my Old Kentucky home, so I'm gonna need you to turn that camera off.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby. Maximum security.
Improbable's fine.
I'm not going to tell you what happened, but he was alive in the Pick Six going into the Kentucky Derby. You can watch the full video online at America's Best Racing. It's interesting.
Okay, it's fun.
5+ minute video. Be sure to check it out. Race 7. 7 furlongs, entry-level allowance coming up, even money and identity politics coming out of the Grade 1 Carter. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And look, I have no complaints about identity politics. He looks like the horse to beat in here, but Chad Brown will also send out another one. That is number 3, Payne, who is coming back off of a layoff. And he did win his last start fairly impressively, at least from the visual standpoint. And then he goes on the shelf for nearly a year. Comes back. He's very fit, don't get me wrong, but he could look just a bit stronger behind the saddle, to be quite honest. And coming back, going the 7 furlongs is always a tall task. He is a very laid-back horse, and he's doing the same thing here today. Identity politics, definitely on his toes. I like it. But I also like number 4, Achilles Warrior, in here for Mark Hennig. It was the right kind of performance to come back, although that was a long shot winner in See This Quick. But he's come out of the race and done what I had hoped he would do, I should say, is he's gotten stronger, fitter, and more alert, more keen as well heading into this one. He certainly has his game face on here, guys, so I'm excited to see what Achilles Warrior does in the face of identity politics.
Well, he's 5-1. Thank you, Maggie. The 4-horse here, Son of Warrior's Reward for Mark Hennig, who will send out Bourbon War in the Preakness. There he is. This one 5-1. Surprised that, I mean, I know Identity Politics is taking all the money in here, but 5-1?
You know, people love stake-faced horses, right? They see the second, the Malibu, and they see that, so they're going to fall for not he's not good and he shouldn't be favored. But I agree with you. Achilles Warrior is a big overlay at 5-1. Now, you have to imagine he'll be 7-2 or 3-1 by post, don't you think?
Well, meanwhile, Identity Politics stablemate, Payne, we're going to take a look at. We've not seen him since July of last year.
Well, this move was just insane because he swept so early, Jose. He probably didn't even need to, but he just sustained it and just kept on going. And this horse has got a ton of talent, and he just had issues to get into the races.
The race collapsed, to be fair, but he's the one who collapsed it. Yeah. A lot of times those horses get eaten up late. He was an MTO, I believe, in Saratoga, and he was scratched up there in the race, shockingly enough, came off the turf, like every other race in Saratoga, and he was scratched that day, and we haven't seen him since. And Chad Brown does just about everything well in this game, but as you saw with those numbers, off of long layoffs with dirt horses, off wins. 7%. Numbers not that good.
Post-parade coming up, and here's a look at Tapmaster for Steve Asmussen. Luis Reyes rides, the son of Tapit, who beat American Power 3 starts back.
He looked so good when he made his first start in New York, and he really has not run well at all since that effort.
Identity Politics, second in the Grade 1 Malibu, just 3 starts back.
Yeah, the lone win, though, is at 40 cents on the dollar, or 80 cents on the dollar in the maiden special weight, and an off-the-turf event, so maybe not even money.
Payne, his stablemate, Jose Ortiz rides.
Clearly a very talented runner. The question is, successive long layoffs, can they take a toll?
Here's the aforementioned Achilles Warrior for Mark Hennig. Dylan Davis aboard.
Yeah, last couple starts broke a tiny bit flat-footed. If this horse breaks the gate, it's going to be the horse to catch anyway, but if he breaks the gate, he could be tough.
American Power, 4-time winner, stops in the field.
He's a solid, consistent runner. The problem is he has the same running style as Identity Politics, and he's not as good as that one.
28-1. It's the biggest price in the field. That is on 1,000%. Another Steve Asmussen runner.
Yeah, Asmussen's got the 2 longest shots in here. This one broke his maiden for $50,000, the son of Golden Sense.
And on the outside, the caretaker, Kieran McLaughlin, and Luis Saez.
Not really good enough, but he does have tactical speed. He's likely stalking the speed of Achilles Warrior.
Well, Identity Politics, we knew he's going to take a ton of money in here, not just because of the connections, but the races he is running as well. He's Grade 1 placed. And there is a look at him on track. Looks like he's warming up well.
Yeah, he's a good horse. The question is, can he start? You know, the problem with these horses that are deep closers like him is they constantly get compromised because we just don't see particularly fast paces in our races anymore, and deep closers are always at the mercy of how the race is run, as opposed to a horse who has tactical speed who can help create how the race is run. But there's no denying his talent.
Last time he was not in a Grade 1. Got beat at 4-5. Yeah. We'll see what happens here. Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Pleased to be joined trackside here by Mark Hennig, who will send out Achilles Warrior. And Mark, let's first talk about him and his last race. You had to be pleasantly surprised, or pleased, I should say, with what you saw on the track that day.
Yeah, we really weren't that surprised because he started his career out really well, and then he, you know, like a couple other horses I had last year, developed a bit of a breathing issue as the fall went on, and you didn't see it in his training as much, but in the races we were picking up on it. And you know, he also needed a tie-back surgery, so we sent him to Patty Hogan, who did a great job with him, and he's come back really strong. I mean, I've never had a tie-back that made as no noise. The rest of, you know, he's perfect.
Well, that is exciting. And Burning Through Gold, he was exciting in his last effort at Gulfstream Park, breaking his maiden in a big way, and now he jumps into a other than company.
Yeah, it started out, it looked like a lot tougher race. I was happy to see the scratches today, but you know, he's a neat horse. Both these colts, you know, we're very high on. Burning Through Gold is, you know, the day at Gulfstream is the way I expected him to run both the first 2 times I ran him. You know, the first time he ends up falling here, and I mean, he's had an adventure, but I think he's finally put it together. You know, we're going to find out if he really wants to stretch out today, but you know, he seems like he's got speed that he can carry.
And also another exciting proposition in your barn, obviously your Preakness contender and Bourbon War worked well here the other day with Carlino. Actually saw him on track and put his workmate away pretty easily. When do you ship to Baltimore, and are you looking forward to the Preakness?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We're going down on Wednesday. We're going to train here Wednesday morning and then ship down and try and beat the rush hour traffic, get into Baltimore area and get him tucked away before the traffic picks up.
All right, well, we'll be excited to watch him here in New York. Best of luck, Mark, with a lot of exciting 3-year-olds in your barn.
Thanks, Maggie.
All right, guys, we'll see if Achilles Warrior can start the day off and, well, the next following week in the right kind of way for Mark Hennig.
Mark got to get back to his lucky spot, I think, to go watch this race. We saw him running off there in the distance. Bourbon War, though, is going to be intriguing to watch in the Preakness.
Yeah, I would think he's going to be third or fourth choice in there with Improbable and War of Will. I would think he'd be 1 and 2 choices.
Well, I mean, he was certainly flattered by Code of Honor's performance.
Yeah, he was.
Because he's been very competitive with Code of Honor, and I thought he was flattered by it at the Derby.
Yeah, and John had said that. Listen, all the Florida horses ran so well. Why not? Why not? His horses are running hot. His barn's running hot. Burning Through Gold's got a big shot. And for him to tell you, listen, we had a tieback surgery. For your people information, that is what Omaha Beach had, basically. And he said the horse obviously came back great with that buyer in the way he ran. So he could be really dangerous in here at 5-1.
Oh, I can't believe he's this price. And why is he the same price as American Power? That doesn't make sense to me.
No, not at all.
Let's take a look at him in action here. This was back on April 7th at Aqueduct. His first start of his 3-year-old campaign comes up just short.
And I don't know where the winner came up with this race, but he came up with it nonetheless. And the thing you have to like about Achilles Warrior is he wasn't able to control. He had to fight the whole way chasing, and he never gave up. You know, I mean, the other horse, he was up with top with him. The other horse drew away from him, but he was fighting with him at the end. I thought he ran very well and fast. And he's a horse that I think at first glance you go, well, where'd that race come from? But he broke his maiden with a solid enough figure first time out. Then they ran the Champagne, where he chased complexity in that wicked pace. And then he had a horrendous trip in a race at Churchill Downs. So he's a lot better than he might look at first glance on paper.
Next door, right at his 5-1 morning line, American Power for Linda Rice, and a young rider who's won the early double today.
Yeah, he hit the double today. He's going to be running from way out of it, and he's going to cut back from a mile race. They try to get him on the turf to 7 furlongs. The 7 furlong races are okay. Does have a second-place finish, but seems like he's the type of horse that will run up for second or third in this group. He's just not fast enough, I don't think, to beat these horses.
Well, the problem that I have with him is he has the exact same running style as Identity Politics, and he's not as good as Identity Politics. So it just makes it hard unless Identity Politics fails to show up for him to win.
I thought you could make a case for the horse on the rail. There's a look at Tapmaster, Steve Asmussen, Luis Reyes with more on the son of Tapit. Let's go to Maggie.
And you don't often see Steve Asmussen's horses sitting at double-digit 21-1 and 43-1. But Tapmaster, guys, he was feeling so good out on the track here in his warm-up, kind of bucking and playing. And to me, now that he's kind of second off of that little bit of a layoff, just looks more fit. Now, don't forget, guys, too, this was a redrawn race from when we canceled last Friday. And these horses, as I just talked to assistant trainer to Toby Sheets, to Steve Asmussen, I should say, these horses were in the holding barn for an hour and a half. So, you know, not that it would impact them much, but it's just a kind of food for thought that they were supposed to run here last Friday. I think it's the same group -2 as they are heading into the gate, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. So even money on Identity Politics, the 2-horse. Dropping out of the Grade 1 Carter, second to McKinsey in the Grade 1 Malibu. It is his race to lose for trainer Chad Brown. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call. Larry Collmus, race 7 from Belmont here on America's Day at the Races.
Here's 1,000% moving into the starting gate. Will be followed by the Caretaker, who comes up to the outside stall. And they're all in line. They're off. Tapmaster from the inside to the early lead. And then it's Achilles Warrior. Payne is up close, running in third. The Caretaker fourth. Identity Politics down on the inside fifth. 4.5 lengths off the lead. Then comes American Power and 1,000%. So up the backstretch, Tapmaster, quick out of the gate, leads Achilles Warrior a length and a half. Payne giving a reminder to keep up, running in third position just inside of Identity Politics, who's guided off the rail through a 22.6 opening quarter mile. Then the Caretaker on the outside of 1000% and American Power trails the field. Half mile to go, and Tapmaster to catch. Achilles Warrior is running in second on the far turn. Identity Politics right up with them, third on the outside. The Caretaker is fourth. And saving all the ground is Payne within 3 lengths of the lead as they make their way around the turn. They went 45.7 for a half, and Tapmaster has been there all the way so far. Tapmaster turning for home with a 2-length lead. Identity Politics second on the outside. Payne cuts the corner in third. These two stablemates trying to reel in Tapmaster as they arrive at the 8th pole. Identity Politics moves up on the outside and having to steady in traffic. Steady hard was Payne as Identity Politics takes the lead outside of Tapmaster. Payne trying to re-rally. Then American Power. Identity Politics will do it. Payne looked like he did get up for second on the outside of Tapmaster, and then it was American Power.
Well, Identity Politics gets the win, but what an effort by Payne. Looks like shut off on the rail. Re-rallies, I believe, to get second. It was very close.
It was, and we'll have to see a head-on to see what happened.
Yeah.
It does feel like it's possible the Tapmaster came over, but you have to be careful without seeing the head-on. Payne did have a very troubled trip in there, but let's give a little credit to Identity Politics because he was much closer to the pace than you would expect him to be, and he still finished.
Yeah, Payne broke so well, and you could tell that Jose Ortiz just had a load of horse underneath them. But Identity Politics was just the horse that stayed away from the trouble.
Yeah, it does seem like the one came over. We'll take a look, but it feels like the one came over
so
on Payne.
Payne on the rail.
Well, he doesn't have the room there.
Ooh, I don't know there.
I'd like to start a little bit earlier than that, to be honest. It's hard to tell. Who knows?
When we're looking at the head-on now, we're looking away. He sort of steadied in the heels. I think Jose tried to go to the rail first. He might have got shut off. And then when he tried to get to the outside, he sort of almost clicked heels with the one and then went by him late. So really tough to tell whether there was rough riding. You can see Leonel Reyes, he took a look back. Here's the head-on now. We can see.
There's plenty of room here. And
he makes it a little tight.
The question is, right. Oh, he definitely comes over on. The question is, how was Payne in the hole? If Payne was in the hole, he's coming down. I think there's almost, well, here's the thing. The 3 got, I think.
3 got second, so it doesn't matter.
3 got second. There's not going to be an inquiry because it's all the one coming
but
over. It definitely compromised Payne.
If that doesn't happen, Payne wins this race,
but let me ask you a question. Fair question. Let's say both Payne and Identity Politics are the same trip. Would Payne have won with a better trip than Identity Politics? Just asking the question. If he had won the race, in other words, he didn't get in trouble, saved ground, waited behind the pace, angles out, whereas Identity Politics was chasing outside the pace. I'm saying I'm not clear he necessarily ran a much better race than Identity Politics, though he probably would have won.
I do know this. I'm betting on Payne the next time, and I'm telling you, this horse has got a ton of talent.
He's got to stay on the racetrack.
He does.
I mean, he
stays on the racetrack, Andy. He's the real deal because he stayed close to the pace. He rated nicely. And it's really weird. I think that Jose was trying to come up the rail, and then when he tried to shift back out, his horse sort of like clipped heels with the other horse.
You see Luis Reyes, rider of the one, take a look back. Yeah. So it was fairly dramatic.
I think what happens is the stewards will probably look at this. They could end up finding or suspending the rider, even though he beat him for the tight riding. I think Jose Ortiz was just a little unlucky in here because he was stuck inside in the pace, and he never really had an opportunity to get out. Jose Ortiz doesn't want to have to make a daring move up the rail.
Yeah.
He wants to angle out and get in the clear, but sometimes you just have no choice.
So, in the end, Identity Politics, who was, by the way, was odds on at the beginning of wagering, even money, dropping out of a grade 1. You get 6-5 in the end.
Payne did drop from 7-2 to 5-2 in the last flash. And
Payne, put him in your stable notes and one to watch absolutely next time out.
To compare this, though, 122.57, we saw a claiming race earlier where a horse won off by a pole in 122 flat. Just pointing it out.
Irad Ortiz Jr. with the victory in a race with a little bit of drama in here is Payne. A little bit of war of will action that we saw in the Kentucky Derby.
Right? And that's the thing that people don't understand. If Payne does not run second, we're sitting here for an inquiry right now.
Yes.
But because he runs second, nothing happens.
2, 3, 1 finish prices when we come back. When we return, we'll take a little peek ahead to the Preakness and back on the Triple Crown here. It's Signal Man for Kenny McPeak, who was brilliant as a 2-year-old, seeking his first win of his 3-year-old campaign in the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. We'll be back.
Our summer cruise is here at Spruce Lane Farm, and he's been a really intelligent horse since he got on the farm.
He's just got great balance and presence. He's got a really good mind, and he does everything that we like to do so far. Our plans with this colt are probably to take him to Saratoga or to Keeneland Book 1 or 2. He fits those. We paid $250,000 for him, so he was an expensive horse, but that's where he belongs.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, stakes winner and graded stakes performer Vanish, and recent stakes winners Taylor Spirit and Tracy Racing. In the ring, his 2-year-olds have brought prices up to $300,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races, our show brought to you in part by the champion sprinter. Runhappy raced medication-free throughout his career, now stands for $25,000 out of legendary stall #1 at Claiborne Farm. And had recently a $250,000 yearling colt out of Summer Cruise. From McMahon Hill Bloodstock. Weanlings, multiple sales going in the $200,000+ range. Cannot wait to see them on the racetrack.
Will you be in Saratoga, the auctions in Saratoga? To see
That's
them
to me, that is one of the great things about Saratoga is going across the street to the sales and watching.
All you got to do is hit one of those pick fives, NYRA pick fives, and just go buy one.
It is one of the greatest people-watching nights.
It's so much fun.
It's like a giant bar with horses being sold and lots of fun.
All right, let's go back to what happened in this drama-filled 7th race. Identity politics on the outside. Payne checked up there on the rail in the pink silks.
I mean, he stumbled badly.
Yeah.
I mean, a good job. Let's give Jose Ortiz some real credit for being able to stay up there with that horse. There's no doubt he should have won this race. I mean, once you watch it again, he should have won. Now,
you make a great point, and I want to mention this to the fans out there, because a lot of people, we hear it all on Twitter. Oh, the Ortiz brothers play games. Go watch that race again.
Ridiculous.
If Irad Ortiz does not lock in Jose on the backside the whole way through the stretch, Payne wins the race for fun. He locked him in the whole time.
Right.
He won the race.
No question about it. The idea that these guys aren't, I would argue, they're more competitive against each other.
1,000,000%. Irad wants to outdo Jose.
Brothers have a tendency to compete very hard against each other.
Yes.
It's lunacy.
When I beat my brother in wiffle ball, he remembers telling me that was the day he gave up.
NYRA Bets late
that
pick
was,
5
can you make a
follow
prize
along.
$50,000+,
just about $51,000 in the pool, and big upset to start things off, and a difficult second leg where Funny Money Honey, debuting on the turf for Charlie Baker, returns 1080. So you're sitting pretty right now if you're live in this NYRA Bets late pick 5.
Yeah,
it's going to pay
pick three.
something very nice as we move on to our feature race of the afternoon, the 8th here, 1-turn mile, allowance optional 80 race ahead. And Burnin' Through Gold, we've been talking about all show long for Mark Hennig. Just a lights-out performance at Gulfstream. Sprung the gate, and the race was over a few steps out of it, but now stretching out to a longer distance.
Well, I think unlike Achilles Warrior, whose rider didn't want to go to the front with him, I think Jose Lezcano, who's having a sensational year and right now the leading rider here, he's going to the front.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's going to try to take this from start to finish. He's got to deal with a couple horses maybe to the inside, and that's about it.
Mogaccia has some speed outside.
Yeah.
Stretching out.
Let's talk a little Preakness coming up. We know No Country House. We're not going to see him now in the Belmont either, as we just reported a little bit earlier on in the show. Top 3 finishers, in fact, will not be in this race. So there is plenty of intrigue, including a whole slew of new faces that will line up in this race. As you look at what the horses did last time out, among the new faces, we're going to see Owendale on here for trainer Brad Cox, who's coming off a win in the Grade 3 Lexington at Keeneland.
I'll tell you, Owendale's win at Lexington, in the Lexington at Keeneland, it's one of the better races we saw from the 3-year-old. People have sort of stopped paying attention by the time they run this race. If this race had been ex-Derby, people would be talking about Owendale.
I thought he was impressive on this day. You're right. He came off the pace into not a fast pace. They clicked off regular fractions, and he just went on with it. He looks like a horse that is going to relish.
And another
horse who ran behind him is going to show up as well.
Well, another twist of fate, he was the darling going to that race. He was favored. He had run well in a prior race. I think he won the El Camino Real, and then he went to Sunland, I believe, his next start. And
he did.
There was a lot of talk about him being maybe a Derby horse.
Cutting Humor beat him by a neck.
Yeah, and Owendale, now Cutting Humor obviously didn't run well in the Derby, but Owendale just crushed him.
Yeah.
We'll see. He set off the pace a little bit, but he was bothered early in that Lexington. But usually a horse who's up there, up close, we'll see how close he is in the Preakness.
There's some pace in the Preakness.
There is.
There certainly is. Signal Man also will be getting back into the mix for Kenny McPeak, who was just, well, huge as a 2-year-old. He won the Kentucky Jockey Club after being 67-1 of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile behind game winner Nick's Go when he hit the board.
Yeah, I'm going to bet against him as the favorite in the Curlin up in Saratoga.
Yeah, he sort of wobbles home here in Keeneland. He's the type of horse that he's going to have to pick up the pieces maybe late for maybe a try or a super. I don't think he's the type of horse that can win the race.
He doesn't run as gangly as Vacoma does.
No, but he doesn't run as fast as Vacoma either.
Yeah.
He may look prettier, but he's not as quick.
We'll see. Third off the layoff
it's all yours.
For Signal Man. See what he does for Kenny McPeak. Always mining another new face, and this horse has reeled off 6 consecutive victories. Now, they've all come at Laurel, but
it's pretty good.
5 consecutive stakes wins, the last 3 of them at odds on.
Hey, our friend Richard Migliore almost upset War Emblem with Magic Wisner, who was coming. It was a local connection. This horse will get a lot of press as the local darling. This horse is also pretty good.
Yeah, he's very good, and you can see him just striding on. I like the way the jock's getting after him, even though he's winning this race, because he knows there's a bigger prize ahead of him. And the local horse usually does run pretty well, especially when we have a field like this. Don't forget about Scrappy T. Remember Scrappy T at the lead at the top of the stretch?
Robbie
he almost unseated Jeremy Rose into Fleet Alex, but other than that, he ran a pretty darn good race.
You gonna pick on Ramon Dominguez?
Yeah.
I think Magic Wisner, by the way, I want to say 45-1 in that race,
like
so crazy things can happen. Good to see Kelly Rubley, too, with a nice horse here coming into this race.
Does a good job.
Yeah, had a couple of master's degrees, was a high school science teacher, decided to walk away from all that, become an exercise rider for Barclay Tag, and then just a few years later, went out on her own, got her first stakes win that very next year, and now coming into the Triple Crown.
It's pretty cool.
And it's nice to see women on the bigger stage, because women are a huge part of this game in the backstretch, and there aren't enough getting as much credit as they deserve. So it's nice to see that's the case with Kelly Rubley.
It really
does
is.
a great job.
And here's the person that was a teacher, like a chemistry teacher. That's actually pretty cool.
And went work for Barclay.
Yeah, right. And works for Barclay. Yeah, and just wants to do her passion. And now she's got a horse running in the Prix. It's pretty cool.
Divisadero, one of the nice horses, too, got first graded stakes win for Kelly. Peter Pan prep for the Belmont Stakes, third and final leg of the Triple Crown. Traditionally, we see the winner come out of this race and move on to the test of the champion. And Intrepid Heart, morning line favorite here for Todd Pletcher. How good do you think this horse is?
I'm very curious if this is one Paul and I disagree on, because I think he's a horrendous favorite, and frankly think he's the third likeliest winner of this race behind Intrepid Heart and the horse on the outside.
I could say, you mean Global Campaign.
Oh, Global Campaign's the horse to beat.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Final Jeopardy.
He had a lot of trouble in the wood.
Yeah, he did. He had a ton of trouble in the wood. I think he's got some quality. Intrepid Heart, he's not beat. He's a nice horse, but he hasn't really beat much.
This is a much tough. I mean, Global Campaign. I thought Global Campaign ran extremely well in the Fountain of Youth, chasing that hot pace. Never really gave up. Intrepid Heart's a nice horse. Not trying to knock him. If he's the favorite in here, I think he's a bad bet.
No, I think Global Campaign will be your favorite by the time it's over. But Final Jeopardy, again, I think a horse, smallish field, can stay close enough. He's got the best kick.
Well, morning line favorite is Intrepid Heart. He has the rail, stablemate for Todd Pletcher, federal case in the race also. Here is Pletcher on his 2 entrants for the Peter Pan.
Well, we've been looking forward to the race for a long time with Intrepid Heart. We kind of, mapped out a schedule a while ago that we hope eventually leads to the Belmont, and we feel like the Peter Pan's been a good prep race for the Belmont over the years. So very happy with his first 2 races. He's been training forwardly, and we're looking forward to giving him a try. What I like about Intrepid Heart is not only is he mentally maturing with experience, you can also see him physically filling out and developing the way you'd like to see it, a 3-year-old at this time of the year do. Federal case was sort of a last-second decision. Field was short, and we decided to put him in, take a shot. We've been trying to find, you know, what he wants to do the most. The only time we tried really around 2 turns, unfortunately didn't get off to a very good start. I think he's versatile enough that if he gets the right trip, he can run, you know, well at multiple distances.
Here's the lineup. Peter Pan, part of it on Saturday. How'd I get that sentence out? Proud of myself.
That was pretty well.
Vagrancy kicks off the card. $100,000 grade 3 in the opener on Saturday. Runhappy, grade 3 Bogey, the Peter Pan, and of course the grade 1 Man of War. The Man of War, oh, that is contentious.
You know
really
my first
is.
Man of War was? 1978.
You know what the
Weah beat the boys.
You know what the best part about having a 10 race card?
11.
Or 11. Yeah, excuse me, 11. Is that you get a pick 5, you can cash your early pick 5, and then play the late one when you're winning.
Tickets to the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. They're going fast. Buy tickets or reserve your seats at Ticketmaster.com or BelmontStakes.com. Belmont Stakes, where champions are crowned. And hopefully where you can cash in on a pick 5. Paul LoDuca is going to play multiple pick 5s tomorrow on our Saturday card. Coming up next, our feature race. And it's all about burning through gold. 15 3/4 lengths. Score to break is made in a Gulfstream sprinting. And he stretched out to a mile at Belmont. We'll find out coming up.
Runhappy was the fastest 3-year-old sprinter of his generation.
Runhappy is stamping his horses. And they all got great necks, great hind legs. They all got a good walk. And this colt moves very, very well. Very smart. He hasn't turned a hair since we had him. First day we turned him out, he was very, very gentle in his paddock and did everything right. He's got an exceptional pedigree.
Runhappy standing at Claiborne Farm.
As a commercial breeder, we're always looking for the next big thing in the stallion range. Always Dreaming's Florida Derby was one of the greatest performances of that race's history. In the final time, being faster than some very significant horses that have won that race, Empire Maker, Quality Road, Scat Daddy, and to follow up that performance and win the Kentucky Derby like he did, showcase himself as one of the elite athletes of his generation. I made NYRA at Stonehaven Steadings, and this season, we're always dreaming.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NYRABets.com.
This graded stakes winner and multiple grade 1 performer by Tappet has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untitled. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
So if Dan and I wanted to adopt a horse today, maybe?
We could show you something.
Okay.
Are any of these horses equipped to live in a 600 square foot apartment in Queens, New York?
No. We have 72 acres here. We have 9 different pastures, and we house about 50 horses at any given time.
How does it usually work? Is it like, do people tell you who they are, what they're looking for, and you select the horse for them? Or do they come out here and they're like, I want that one?
We try to work with them to get the right horse with the right person. It's
Yeah.
all about making that connection.
What do you think would be a good fit for this guy?
It's Circle Bow, I think. I'm pretty sure.
And why is that?
Well, he is an older gelding.
You know what that means, right?
Yes, Dan.
Okay.
We are back. Our show, of course, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Our feature race coming up. We're approaching the 10-minute mark to post here in the 8th. Let's go downstairs for a paddock report to Maggie Wolfendale.
Just got the riders up call here in the paddock, and we'll begin with number 7 in here, burning through gold for trainer Mark Hennig, as he'll try the mile distance for the first time off the back of that impressive blowout win at Gulfstream, going the 6.5. And to me, he's always been a horse that I thought would appreciate more ground. He'll get it here, and he's done well. I mean, I haven't seen him since his debut back here as a 2-year-old, and he's filled out quite nicely. He's just become more athletic. He was a bit of a gangly type of 2-year-old, so I appreciate that with him. But there does feel as though there is a lot of speed in this race, and I don't know how he necessarily negotiates that, and he's going to have to deal with the outside quick runner in number 9, Mo Gotcha. Sorry, I was calling him Mo Mystery earlier, but his name is Mo Gotcha for Jeremiah Engelhardt. Another horse that I've thought that more ground would appeal to him, and he comes in here. He's, as Junior Alvarado was talking about, he is a horse who still kind of is a little bit green, a little unsure of his surroundings, but he's a little bit more focused this time in the paddock, is on his toes, is indicating that he's sharp, but his physical size says that a mile should be within his wheelhouse. I just don't know how it sets up for him. Number 5 in here is Direct Order, a horse that I always thought less ground is better, but the way he wants to run, he wants a target and some pace to run at. He might get it here, guys. I just really question a mile for him.
So we'll see how it plays out. 11-1 on the horse you're looking at right here, but 3-2 on Burnin' Through Gold. And what do you think about the mile for Burnin' Through Gold, Andy?
Well, he's a Bernardini from Seeking the Gold Dam. He's got nothing but pedigree to suggest he's supposed to handle the distance, so I don't see why it should be a problem. I think the biggest concern is his win, his big win, was getting loose in the lead, and are you sure he's going to be clear in this race? He's supposed to be, but you never know. The 9 Mo Gotcha could have some real speed to run with him.
He broke so sharp in that
No, he runs his last race, and he's going to win this race. I don't think there's any denying it.
I mean, he was 5 lengths in front almost out of the gate.
He was very, very good.
Here's our post parade. We start with Majid, and this horse just beat a horse who came back and was second in the Federico Tessio, who we were just talking about. It's going to run in the Preakness.
Yeah, good placing by Rudy Rod. This horse broke his maiden for 30, then went to Laurel and won a nice little optional claimer.
Always minding that horse we're talking about. Ran second to him. Family Biz, the 3 for Dylan Davis.
Danced every dance this year for trainer Eddie Barker, has a win on today's card, and he always seems to show up and run a credible effort.
Beat High Cal as well. That's on his resume. The 5 Direct Order at 5-2. Irad Ortiz Jr., Jason Service.
Shorter price than Family Biz, but he couldn't catch him last time. There's a mile stretching it for this horse.
Burnin' Through Gold. Here he is. We've been talking about him all show long. 15 3/4 length win gate to wire last out.
You just never know with these impressive maiden breakers. It's always a key race coming back out of that race, but his last race will beat this field.
New racetrack, stretching out, winners for the first time, a lot of firsts. The 8 Fiery Tail, Barkley Tag.
Yeah, put it all together last time out. Been having issues from the gate and a better dirt horse. And his races at Belmont as a 2-year-old were not bad. So this would be my long shot horse maybe to hit the board.
Me too.
And Junior already with a win on the card. The new baby as well on Mo Gotcha for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
He has to improve with leaps and bounds in his second start. He beat a field. The horse he beat last time, Vehemnant, could be 1,000-1 in this race.
Topor go that high?
Well, of course, it could be any price.
Here's our favorite.
I'd give me 1,000-1 against this field.
8-5, Burnin' Through Gold. So we said there are some issues. Now, look, first time out, he showed ability as well. He was beat by Lexitonian and a horse named Bankit, who came back to win the Sleepy Hollow and was actually second to Long Range Toddy in the Springboard Mile.
And you, of course, a big fan of the Remington Park Springboard Mile. Had a bit of a trip that day. Actually didn't run badly. He's talented. Clearly, issues after that race, as Mark Hennig alluded to, and it took him a while to get back to the track. He clearly needed his first start. It feels to me like he was stretching his legs. But he also reared the start and blew the brake. Last time out, he delivered on the promise. He's got to do it again.
He does. He has to do it again just because you have horses in here like Family Biz, the 3, I think can win the race. Mo Gotcha. I think Fiery Tail's a sneaky horse.
The racing world is littered with horses that ran huge races to break their maiden, that came back at short prices and didn't reproduce it. And that's what separates the talented horses from the really, really good horses. The really good horses keep delivering. There's horses with talent that just have trouble putting it together on a race-by-race basis.
Family Biz, the 3, he is a multiple winner. He actually broke his maiden beating High Cal, who was scratched out of the Kentucky Derby with a little bit of a foot issue, but a horse who's immensely talented. We're going to see later this summer.
consistently runs buyers in the range of the 80s, low 80s, which gives him a chance in this race. You know he can handle the distance. I don't know why they ran him on the turf last time. I guess Eddie Barker, I mean, you can always try the jumps at Saratoga because just about nothing else he hasn't tried, but he's a very honest racehorse.
Yeah, he is, and Eddie Barker's running hot right now. So.
And he's terrific. Eddie does a sensational job.
Yeah, if they happen to somehow go fast early, look for him to pick up the pieces late.
5-1 on Family Biz. We're going to take a break. We will return. Our feature race coming up here next on America's Day at the Races on MSG+. Burning Through Gold, the 7, the 6-5 favorite. Can he back up the Gulfstream win here at Belmont?
Kentucky Derby winner Orb. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including multiple stakes winner Autumn Warrior, stakes performers Scrapper and Malocchio, and Sipacan Harbor, winner of the Grade 1 Spinaway Stakes at Saratoga. In the sales ring, his 2-year-olds have fetched prices up to $1.25 million and multiple yearlings up to $1 million. Classic winner, classic pedigree, Orb, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NYRABets.com.
Back on America's Day at the Races on MSG+. Thanks for tuning in on this Friday afternoon. We have a good race here coming up. I want to remind you, get started, signed up, play along, $200 new member bonus. Use the promo code LIVE at sign up. When you bet $200, you will get $200 in your account to bet any track, anywhere, anytime. So that horse in the foreground there, those Aqua Silks, or turquoise, excuse me, that's your favorite, Burning Through Gold. But outside of that horse, the 8 Fiery Tail, this horse coming off a maiden claiming victory. That was at 7 furlongs at Gulfstream. Had a little bit of trouble early on in this race, too. Did steady fairly significantly. One going away. Now, it was a 35 maiden claiming race, but still won impressively.
I want to know he paid $580 that day. His races, and Paul pointed out when we were talking about it before, his races on the dirt, they were against some very good horses. And he also had some trips. He was wide against a Gold Rail in his last time. Ran his Code of Honor, U.S. Navy Cross, Felix the Fox, and Epic Dream. Those are real horses he was running against. I think he's a sneaky horse in this race. I played a cold 7-8. Little reverse, but mostly 7-8.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is my horse as in, you know, the sneaky horse that can hit the board in this race as a 2-year-old. Like I said, ran a couple good races. That last race was good. Now, 13-1. I mean, longest shot on the board? No.
This is the kind of race. I mean, you kind of talked about it earlier. This horse, Burning Through Gold to 7, could just run lights out, and just obliterate this field, or come into a new racetrack, stretching out, facing winners first time, may not adjust here to it, and then it's wide open.
Can I ask you a question? Why is, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Ferrari Tail, with that funny spelling? Why is he 13-1 and Mo Gotch is 5-1? Can you explain that?
Everyone puts their money into a pool.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
With more on the 8th race. No, you're right. It's a valid point. It's interesting. I mean, coming out of a maiden claiming race,
Your
maybe
point
that's
was valid
why.
too, Greg. I don't want you to feel like it.
Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Touching on that long shot you guys were talking about, Fiery Tail. I'll stick with Fiery, just sounds better. For Barkley Tag, he has done well. I mean, the last time I'd seen this horse was as a 2-year-old, and he was a bit weak, a bit backwards looking, and he's really filled out that frame, and he's become quite a good-looking character for Barkley Tag. He has gotten a bit hot and wound up here. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much, but he is the only horse to do so. Now, the horse that obviously people are making the second choice, and rightfully so, is number 5, Direct Order. This horse is undefeated at 6 furlongs, and his other win came at 7-8. So I really feel as though a mile's pushing at it. Though, I do think this race is where he's comfortable. He's going to get some horses who go out in front of him. He can kind of stalk here. And 2, in these entry-level other thans, I'm always drawn to the horse who has won multiple races. This horse has won 3, more than any horse in the field, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. We'll see what happens. Here's the heavy favorite. Can Burning Through Gold back up that sensational maiden score stretching out here at Belmont? The 7 horse, the one to beat here at Belmont. Let's go to Larry Collmus for the call, race 8.
And here's Mo Gotcha. Up to the outside stall. They're all in line. They're off. Good start for Burning Through Gold. The favorite right to the front, Majid on the inside, and Mogacha to the outside in hot pursuit early on. These three opening up, 3 on Family Biz, who's down on the inside. Direct Order is alongside, and at the back of the pack is Fiery Tail. Up the backstretch where Majid has taken the lead. And Burning Through Gold will sit second, 3/4 of a length behind, through a 22.85 sharp opening quarter mile. Mogacha's third, 3 from the top, and 3.5 ahead of Family Biz. Then Direct Order, and Fiery Tail continues to trail the field about 9 lengths from the front. So they're moving for the far turn, where it is Majid in front by about a length now, over Burning Through Gold, and Mogacha's close up running in third on their outside. A 46.23 half mile. It's a break of another 3.5 back to Direct Order outside of Family Biz, and then it's Fiery Tail. So they round the far turn. Majid is still the leader with the favorite Burning Through Gold second, and still about a length and a half behind. Mogacha clings to them on the outside. These three are going to turn for home 4 lengths ahead of Direct Order. They've gone 3/4 in 110.34. They're into the stretch. Majid trying to hold on to this lead. On the outside, Mogacha's taken second. Burning Through Gold is thrown in the towel, and here comes Direct Order down the outside trying to close in, but Majid has the lead by 3. Direct Order on the outside, cutting the gap late. Majid's going to pull off the upset here at 13-1 over Direct Order. And then it was Mogacha and Fiery Tail.
Majid, we've seen those Silks do some big things here at Belmont Park. Luis Saez, Rudy Rodriguez.
This is going to spice up the late pick 5, and I don't think this will close out the pick 6 as in a carryover.
Pick 5's in trouble.
Yeah.
Pick 6 is a cinch to carry.
This is, aggressive ride by Luis Saez. Took him right to the front end.
Right.
Game over. Nobody else really fired.
Right. The reality is the Burning Through Gold was last. You don't want to make a lot of excuses for him. But he was the clear speed. He had an easy lead from this horse, and he just let him have the lead, and the inside's been very good today. I think that compromised his chances. He did run last, hard to blame, but Luis Saez, this is one of the reasons he's one of the best riders in the country. He gave his horse its absolute best chance to win.
He did. You got to give the credit to the 5, Direct Order on the wrong lead, trying as hard as he can to get up in a second. But no doubt about the winner here. And like we were saying, identity politics in the last race. But other than that, you better have your pick and choose on today because it's been tough pickings.
Yeah, this is a pick 5. There will be horses not covered in the last race in the pick 5. The shorter priced horses probably will have a ticket covered, but the pick 6, there's no chance it's being hit.
Majid, 3 victories in a row. Aqueduct, Laurel, and now at Belmont. Horse on quite a roll, and this flatters the form even a little bit more, perhaps, of always mining going into the Preakness.
I think you have to watch races from today again in the dirt, and it does feel like horses on the inside had a real advantage on this course today. We'll look at that closely tonight.
2, 5, 9, 8, 13-1 shot gets the job done. Luis Saez, Rudy Rodriguez at Zayat Stables, who of course ended the Triple Crown drought with American Pharoah back in 2015. Luis Saez, 2 victories this afternoon. We're going to take a break in the action prices from the 8th, and our nightcap we will set up when we return. Also, we'll look ahead to more stakes action on Saturday. The Runhappy Stakes, recruiting ready. The 8-5 morning line favorite. Can he hold off Skylar's Scramjet once again after their 1-2 finish at Aqueduct in the Gravesend? We'll talk about that next.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NYRABets.com.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe. Now his much-anticipated first crop arrives in 2019. Mastery, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Whether you have Derby dreams or Midsummer Derby dreams, this is Tom Durkin to tell you a registered New York bred can take you there. That New York bred Exact and the Whitney by multimillionaires Diversify and Mind Your Biscuits shows the kind of quality that allowed New York breds to earn more than $93 million on the world stage last year. On-track successes have spurred New York bred sales result. At the March OBS sale, Chestertown sold for $2 million. And this New York bred 2018 yearling brought $1 million at Saratoga. So get with the program at NYBreds.com.
So my name is Robbie Herzl. I'm the yearling manager here at Claiborne Farm, and we've got the first crop of Runhappies this year. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with them. So we have a colt out of Queen of America. He's really nice, looks just like his dad. Very pleased with how he's coming along. So there was a lot of demand for the weanlings last year. They sold for over 6 times their stud fee, and we're really excited for the yearlings to come through the sales, and we're expecting big things from them.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back at America's Day at the Races, 13-1, Majid, son of Shackelford. He's won 3 in a row now. Rudy Rodriguez, Zayat Stables, Luis Saez.
Yeah, congratulations, like you said, Shackelford out of the Mineshaft mare, Jessamine, and just like her daddy or his daddy, right on the front end, and there's that pick 3. And wow, I can't remember the last time I saw a Grand Slam play that much. $356. Good on you if you had that.
Only the 2 not covered in the pick 5. It appears 2 and I think 8 are not covered in the pick 5. Nobody's in the pick 6.
Let's head downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
And here with Luis Saez, picking up his second winner here on the card with Majid. Louis, you had a game plan from the gate. Go to the lead.
Yeah, you know, he's a fast horse. I was watching the replay. When he take the lead, he always run away from the other ones. He get more brave, you know. And, well, that was the first thing we tried to do, break good and see if we can go to the lead.
And he is very brave out in the lead. You were very brave, though, back in race number 5. You were aboard a 2-year-old, Sky of Hook. He made a left turn into the rail, and I got to commend your athleticism for staying on him, but he fired pretty nicely for you in the lane.
Yeah, that was exciting. You know, he was a little green first time, you know, he break a little bit in, but we reacting right away, and we keep him straight, and geez, when he came to a straight, he was really responding, so I just, you know, tried so hard, and we got the winner.
Louis, I know you're tired of hearing about the Kentucky Derby. I know, but your valet, Rodney Payne, posted something on Twitter that really put in perspective. As tough as it was to be DQ'd, you have gone through a lot in your life as far as losing your brother, and it just put everything in perspective, and it seems as though it hasn't fazed you at all.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I be more strong. Yeah. We just, you know, stop happening. Another bomb in the row, so we try to keep the head away high and try to, you know, do the best we can.
And you do. Congratulations here. Another win under your belt, Louis.
Thank you so much.
All right. What a nice guy to catch up with, guys.
Great young man, terrific young rider, and got to be so hard to stay composed after what happened to him on Derby Day, being DQ'd out of a victory, but he's going to get plenty more opportunities.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's a world-class rider, and again, not his fault what happened in the Derby, and he's taking it in stride. He came back here and rode the next day. I think it was the right thing to do. Here's the NYRA late pick 5. Follow along, and I hope you like 1, 2, 3, because those are the numbers that have been coming in your life for maybe a 1, 2, 3 score here. The pick 6 is not hitting. There's 2 pick 5s that are carrying over, and you can rely for a big score if you're alive, or even pick 4s are nice.
Monster payouts coming up if you're alive. NYRA Bets late pick 5. We say it all the time. It is an incredible way to play. Low takeout, 15%. And the only way to play it if you do not reside in the state of New York is with NYRA Bets. Get signed up, get started, NYRABets.com, or download the NYRA Bets app. Nightcap coming up here at 6.5 furlongs, $20,000 maiden claiming event. And I thought a pretty wide open race. A lot of ways to go here in our finale on the card. Our honor right now, blinkers going on. And cutting back in distance, Kendrick Carmouche, Dominic Schettino off the claim is the current favorite.
Yeah, blinkers going on, and obviously pretty good work in the morning is, I don't know, at least the clockers tipping their hand 0-5 to 2.
Runhappy Stakes, of course. Coming up tomorrow, part of that loaded stakes schedule on Saturday afternoon. And Recruiting Ready, the morning line favorite. It's a rematch between Recruiting Ready and Skylar's Scramjet. They were 1-2 in the Gravesend in Aqueduct back on December 23rd.
This was a good race, no?
Yeah, Recruiting Ready was able to control the race, and that was really the key for him. And also, to be fair, Skylar Scramjet was off a layoff. Recruiting Ready's been unlucky to have drawn the inside 2 races in a row. He got left at Gulfstream. He was just so much better in the field, he was able to win. Last time out, he didn't break that badly, but Luis Saez was not aggressive with him, and he stayed him off heels about 100 yards into the race, and he lost all chance. Now, with an outside post, he probably is the controlling speed here and gets that free, clear run that he wants.
Yeah.
So here's the Gravesend again.
Wow.
But pace-wise, so Skylar Scramjet, that's the last, I mean, that was the last time we didn't see Skylar in the lead.
That is the truth. And I like the way he stayed on, at least, or tried. I don't know, maybe the tactics get changed tomorrow?
Well, what do you think? And Andy, coming out of the Grade 1 Carter, you faced a world-class sprinter in World of Trouble who came back out of that Grade 1 Carter to win the turf sprint and won it going away convincingly. But has Skylar Scramjet, since they met in the Gravesend, become a better horse?
Well, no. I mean, to be fair, and I like Skylar Scramjet a lot as a horse, and he was off a layoff, and I'm not saying he's not an equal to Recruiting Ready and can't win here, but that was a very slow pace in the Carter. And the Honor Up and Skylar Scramjet were right on top of that slow-paced World of Trouble, and it made it much, it sort of brought the field together. It almost turned it into a turf race, to be honest with you. I'm not knocking Skylar Scramjet, won't be surprised if he wins. I just think Recruiting Ready's going to get the run of the race, but he absolutely can win, Skylar Scramjet.
Well, this is the Carter right here, and you're only, what, a length behind? World of Trouble, who's half a length behind, who's just a freak show. Doesn't matter what he runs on. This is a good effort. It's a great effort.
He's a very nice horse.
Yeah.
Listen, to me, they're the 2 horses because I don't trust the horse coming in for Jason Service. I don't like his return race.
So this is who Skylar Scramjet was just a half length behind chasing last time out in the Carter. World of Trouble, who would come out of that win in the Carter to go on turf, win the turf sprint on Oaks Day at 5.5 furlongs by 3 3/4 lengths. I mean, that is dominant.
He's a very good turf sprinter, and he always know against an overmatched field. He's a better dirt sprinter, in my opinion. I know his connections disagree with me, but the money to be made as a stallion is in running in dirt, big Grade 1s in the dirt, and yet they're running in turf races. World of Trouble would win this race in a common gallop on the dirt. So, yeah, if you go by that, you're supposed to take Skylar Scramjet, but I don't think it's that simple.
No, I don't think it's that simple, and I think World of Trouble ran into a weak field when it comes to turf. But I think he's a better dirt sprinter. But 6 furlongs and 7 furlongs, when you stretch him to a mile, he's going to get stretched. If he wants to go to the Met Mile, that's going to be very interesting.
He's going to go to the Jaipur. They seem to... The Jaipur's an easier route for them. I understand why they're doing it, and the Met Mile's coming up extremely salty.
Tough.
But you win the Met Mile, and it might be worth $5 million in stallion value, if not more, to them. So you have to make decisions. Listen, the connections make whatever they think the right decision is.
Yeah.
Whether or not we agree or not would make us right.
Yeah, sure.
Don't forget about Firenze Fire, too. Coming back to the scene of the crime when he just was lights out in the Dwyer last summer. You're not giving him much of a chance?
No, he can win. He ran great here in the Dwyer, but his return at Tampa was awful. But he can win at 6 furlongs. He won the Gallant Bob. No, he can win.
He's better than what he showed in that race.
But I think the horses that he has to beat in here have a tactical advantage on him.
Yeah, no question. That's the lineup for Saturday. We are stacked. And the Man of War, of course, the big one, Grade 1, mile and 3/8, and it's attracted Aidan O'Brien with a pair of runners, the Philly Magic Wand and Hunting Horn, who will have the rail.
I don't get Hunting Horn, but I get Magic Wand.
I do. I get Magic Wand.
She's good.
I guess both of them you can use. Obviously, Hunting Horn has had experience over here. Magic Wand has too. They both have.
Both have some speed,
Zula
too.
Alpha, too. This is a tough little race. Arco didn't finish or lost the rider in his last start in his debut.
Magic Wand is a world-class horse, and she really came together late last year with that terrific second, beating actually Homerique in the Prix de l'Opera, who we'll see also on the card earlier going shorter. And then she ran reasonably well in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Distaff, and then she ran well behind Bricks and Mortar with a very, very good ride at Gulfstream Park. I'll tell you what's funny about Magic Wand. I wonder if 1 3/8 is stretching it a bit for her. She seems like 1 1/4 is her best distance.
Yeah, she ran huge in the Prix de l'Opera at that distance. That was one of the best races of her career. So we'll see. 1 3/8 the distance tomorrow. And you like a different horse actually altogether. You've talked about Channel Maker a little bit, who's been better on soft turf courses. We may get more rain tonight, some thunderstorms. So connections for Channel Maker, probably praying for some rain.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get enough. It may be. The thing is, there's still a little give in the ground. To give, turf is not super firm because we haven't had warm weather. We've gotten enough rain. So we'll get some give. The other thing is, I think that Joel Rosario might go back to what worked best for him, winning the Joe Hirsch, and go to the front with him. Take no prisoners. Try to wire the field. Get back to that good form.
He's a tough horse to ride. He's got to be timed perfectly. That actually could be the way. Those type of horses either go straight to the front or Joel's going to have to time it perfectly.
Good field. You also have Arklow in this spot for Brad Cox. Zulu Alpha, of course, Focus Group, who we talked about earlier. That is race 10 tomorrow. 5 stakes on the card on a super Saturday at Belmont Park with a graded stakes race right off the bat in the vagrancy in the first race on the card. We still have our finale coming up. We're approaching the 15-minute mark to post. We'll hear from Maggie Wolfendale with a paddock report and a post parade coming up when we return for the nightcap on America's Day at the Races when we come back.
For a commercial farm like us in Frankfurt Park, you have to get value for money. Uvetzi won a grade 3 in California.
Big performance by Uvetzi.
And then we bred Take Charge Paula.
Take Charge Paula with the win.
When we can get some of these WinStar dollars, as far as we're concerned, it's the same as real money because we're just putting it back in again there for the coming year. Over the next couple of years, I think it's going to become even more important.
This is a colt by Runhappy out of Addison Run. We bred here at Mockra Hall. Well, he's a big, strong, good bone, big old hip on him. Moves really well. Has that kind of big cat-like walk when he just relaxes and gets rolling up and down the lane.
Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races, our nightcap to come out here at Belmont Park. We're about 13 minutes away. Our show brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Great to have them on board as a sponsor, legendary Claiborne Farm. New York Breds, of course, they have more than made their mark on the national stage. We talk about it each and every year here on the show. And, of course, on the NYRA circuit, turf pedigrees offer ample opportunities for connections. Here is Tracy Egan coming up with more on a new face from Rockridge Stud in Hudson, New York.
Any frank conversation about this 6-year-old son of Quality Road begins with his good looks.
Very correct, 16-2, and very well balanced. Everybody that's seen him has actually basically either bought a breeding right or a share in the horse.
The handsome stallion is a multiple graded stakes winner and grade 1 placed horse on the turf. And he was precocious enough to break his maiden, then place in a grade 3 at Del Mar at age 2. The breeders who attended the Rockridge Stallion Show this past January are very aware that NYRA runs many turf races, and so they are looking to breed for the turf.
The way he's booked this year, he's got a full book of mares. So far, we're 2/3 of the way through, and he's stopping pretty much every mare that he's bred.
So the conversation continues with expectations for outstanding foals, and a lot of them, next spring.
Interesting new face there, frank conversation. 5-year-old son of Quality Road won the Grade 2 Twilight Derby, Grade 3 El Camino Real Derby, and placed in 5 additional graded stakes.
Sweet horse, actually, frank conversation. Like Hudson, New York, also.
Doug O'Neill.
Great place to visit.
Doug O'Neill.
Hudson, New York. Good day trip from Saratoga. A little south of Albany.
Maiden claiming event coming up, $20,000 the tag in this spot, 6.5 furlongs. Time for a paddock report. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Horses on the walking ring here, and we'll begin with the horse who is taking the early money in number 3, Our Honor, who is a turn back, one of 2 I'll talk about here. Going first off the claim for Dominic Scatino. Well, you knew things were a bit sketchy when Linda claimed this horse back at Saratoga in August, and then shows up quite a bit later in March for the maiden 20, and just really did not run well as a heavy favorite that day. Now, the turn back, I'm actually okay with. He is a bigger, scopier horse, and he is extremely fit now, second off the bench, as those shortcut blinkers do go on. We'll see if he does have enough speed to get involved here, going the 6.5 furlongs, but I don't know, at a short price, we'll see, as I'm going to go with one of the 2 Rob Atras horses, and I know number 10, Mandatory Payout, has been a bit disappointing as a claim, to say the least. And he'll turn back, though, and I like that. Based upon what I see from this horse physically, he's a bit round, he's shorter coupled and robust looking, and I've had a thing, I will admit, for this guy each and every time he shows up in the paddock, but I just feel like the level and the distance are right here. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. I don't know, I'd like this race as a betting race to close out this card. I thought there were a lot of ways to go here.
Well, there are. I mean, the 9 and the 10 are a tiny bit vulnerable in here. The 3 is getting blinkers. The 6, Mount Olympus, is a player in here. There's other horses in here that got shots. The Gulo Runner's getting Lasix for the first time, the 7. So if you're alive, you still got to get through this.
And there's the 6 who just left our screen. And Mount Olympus, that was the morning line favorite. So he's well clear of the third place. Yeah, he was the horse to beat. Well clear of the third place finisher in that race. But the horse who beat him, that horse was 0 for 8 coming in.
Don't knock him. He's somebody.
That was the name of the horse. Very good. And he, 0 for 8, and he was 0 for 3 at this level as well before that performance.
I agree with all of that. The problem is, have you taken a good look at what's going on in here? We're not exactly talking about Belmont Day here. I understand. I think the concern with Mount Olympics, there's 2. Obviously, he's cutting back a distance. Will he be as effective at 6.5? But also, I thought it was going to rain. And he looks like his one terrible race in the sloppy track.
Yeah.
But you're right, somebody had his chances, but he's not nobody.
By name.
By name.
We're going to start with Dr. Devera's Way. Start number 3, and dropping to the lowest level he has run at yet. Burning Through Gold couldn't win come from Gulfstream. How does he?
Oh, yeah, that's a good logic there, Greg. How's that working for you? He would be my ridiculous bomb in here. New trainer change. Good trainer.
Okay, we're going to go back to that. I want to hear
bomb.
more about that. Asher the Dasher, the 2 Rajiv Mirage.
Sort of run the same race all 3 times. Has this 3-year-old gelding by alternation.
I think Our Honor is going to be tough, and so does the public. 3-1 right now. Kendrick Carmouche aboard, cut back and distance, blinkers on.
I picked him because he's the best horse. He's never gone this short. We'll see.
Ninja Dust, blinkers come off, start number 5.
Well, another drop, and the blinkers has helped a little bit. This horse could be dangerous here at 10-1.
I bet him last time. Still bitter. He ran well.
He beat 15 lengths.
Right. Ouch. He's finished in time to make the gate for this race.
Here's Mount Olympus, who we were talking about. We agree, the horse to beat.
Yeah, maybe the horse to beat, just because coming off a race where he had the lead. But my worry is he dropped and didn't pop, didn't get the W.
Fortune's Boy, the 7, 10-1. He is actually getting bet.
And I don't know why. Just because he's getting Lasix, he's going to need more than lay. They better be jet fuel in that Lasix.
Smidge showed speed last start at this level and wound up a distant second.
Do you like him a smidge ball?
No. Although, at 28-1, did not run bad last time out.
Shown a hint of ability against better, too. Here's Lone Pioneer, Rob Atras, Junior Alvarado.
Gets back to the right surface. We'll see. And when he ran well, the barn was going a little bit better.
Lowest level he's been at as well. And then the 10 mandatory payout on the outside. The other Rob Atras runner.
Yeah,
drops from 40.
This is a horse that had blinkers last couple starts because the gate was giving him issues. The gate hasn't given him issues, but he really hasn't run. We'll see if he runs today.
For Bob Bone, our buddy.
Yes.
From Southern California, has so many horses out there.
Horses all over the place,
got horses
right?
all over the place. Well, he used to start in California, and there's the carryover for pick 6 for tomorrow, and a great card with Jeff Mullins. It was him and Jeff Mullins. They were picking horses apart, and he was great. And then they sort of had a falling out, and now he's got horses everywhere. But he's a very, very good claiming owner. So and you got to pay attention to when he claims horses, they're live. He's a little bit like Gary Barber, and he bets too. Gary obviously owns higher-end horses, but when they get bet, they're live.
In case you needed a little extra incentive to play a tremendous card tomorrow, Pick 6 carryover as well. You can play it by getting signed up and started with an NYRA Bets app. Use that promo code LIVE. If you do get started, you get $200 in your account when you bet $200 within the first 2 weeks. Taking a look here at the 9, Lone Pioneer. So Junior Alvarado had a win earlier. We talked about the new addition. Be apropos to close it out here, right?
Well, the race 4-back, which was the last time he sprinted in the dirt. His last 2 races had been on the wrong surface, the turf. He ran a good second, a second that would make him a real player here. It was an odd race. It was an odd day when the track was really deep. It had poured the night before. Oh, I'm sorry. We'd gotten 4.5 inches of snow the night before, and it was almost a miracle we were able to race. And the track was very tiring, and that race just collapsed at the end. In fact, the winner came from even farther back than him. He came back and didn't handle a mile in his next start and actually ran behind mandatory payout. The good thing for him is cutting back in distance and getting the dirt. I think both those will help him. But he's also a little pace compromised, and this track is not playing kindly to outside closers.
Turf to dirt, too. Sometimes wakes horses up a little bit. We'll see if that happens here, but it's a little cold right now on the board. He was 3-1 on the morning line. 9-2 currently.
Here's a question. If Kendrick goes to the front with Our Honor, I'm going to predict this race is over. Especially this track is playing.
I agree.
Yes.
You know, and Mount Olympus and Our Honor have much more speed than Lone Pioneer and mandatory payout. And the way we're seeing this track seem to be playing, I think that's going to be a big advantage for them.
You're right. You're right. I mean, Kendrick goes right to the rail. He goes to the front end, and he's going to everybody else is going to have to rely on somebody else, and I don't know who it is. Is going to have to pressure.
Or the race is falling apart.
If he shows speed, going to be plenty fit. You know that on the cutback. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys. And we'll take a look at your current favorite. That's number 6 in here, Mount Olympus, who will go out for trainer Mike Maker and gets Jose Ortiz in the irons. Another turn-back horse in here. And for me, he's probably the least convincing. I know he's your favorite, and he's run the fastest races of these, and he's just come up short in some of those longer affairs. But for me, I just don't feel like this horse is going to be comfortable going the sprinting distance of 6.5 furlongs. Plus, and I'll probably put him right in the winner's circle by saying this, he did get awfully hot and washy in the paddock and out on the track as well. Now, a horse that got a very aggressive warm-up, that second off a layoff, is number 4, Ninja Dust. I know Andy and I both took a liking to this horse, but he was bad last time, coming off the bench and turning back. But he just seems a lot sharper. And Dylan Davis gave him a serious wake-up call as well. I mean, he took him straight down to the rail, away from the pony, and he got a big warm-up, big gallop into him over to the backside, and maybe he just needed that last race as he takes another step down the ladder from the 40 to the 20 here, Greg, as the blinkers do come off.
All right, so some reasons to play this 9-1 shot here in the finale, Ninja Dust.
Ninja Dust is handy off. And maybe he needs some fairy dust to run. You know, Maggie makes legitimate points that maybe second off he'll run. And it is sometimes, as a player, he just took a pop from 11-1 to 9-1. I think as a player, if you like a horse that's a big price and they don't run well, the next time they run, if they're a big price, you're always supposed to bet a little bit on them. Because if you liked something enough about them to take a shot at a big price, give them one more chance to come back at a big price.
He's also taking a drop again. I mean, it's lowest level he'll have run at yet in his career. So at least, and there's an equipment change. So at least there's
atrocious last time.
He was. All right, you told us earlier you liked a monster long shot in here a little bit. We're looking at the one right now, Dr. DeVera's way. What'd you like about the one?
No, I said if you want me to take a goofy horse as my long shot, 3rd or 4th. Well, I mean, I'm always looking at trainer changes. And I think we all do. I think we all look at trainer changes. And not knocking Jose Gallegos had this horse in Florida, but Merton Contermasi is a little bit under the radar. He had a sensational winter at Aqueduct. He really took advantage of a policy here where we give, we give Benny to small stables and that do well. And I think he was actually the leader in that. And I just look at trainer changes, and he ran against some better horses in Florida. Now, he did not run well. And Canterbury does not have great numbers off a trainer switch in the dirt. He's just 1 for 20. But I just look for little changes. I mean, let's face it. You look, right, you see a trainer change with him. You see lay 6 for the 7. They may not be able to run, but you're always looking for sort of angles.
This kind of race,
like
you just want something different.
Well, you do, and that's why I would go with Ninja Dust, because I'm looking for a horse that, okay, they try it on the turf, then loses to Tacitus. I know loses, gets crushed.
But it was Tacitus.
It was Tacitus. But the last race, he showed a little bit improvement. Now the drop, now the blinkers come off. You get Dylan aboard and not far off this group. I know my pick was the 10, and I think the 10 might be better on the
payoff.
cutback than the 9, but both the 9 and the 10 are a little dead on the board considering they probably have the best dirt form.
Well,
but
do you think that the 9 Lone Pioneer and the 10 mandatory payout, both being trained by Rob Atras, the money's almost getting diffused between the two of them, and it makes it hard for, it's sort of equal play. The problem with mandatory payout is, while he cuts back in distance, his last effort was pitiful. At least with Lone Pioneer, you're getting back to the right surface, whereas mandatory payout, he's just sort of grasping at straws. He was awful last time. He was done around the turn.
Yeah, so that's the 10 horse Andy's talking about.
Not saying
Here's
he can't
the 9,
win, but he was
his
bad
stable
last
mate
time.
with Junior Alvarado. Again, they're both at 4-1. But of these two, yeah, I would take the 9.
See, I took the 10, and I don't know why, because the more I look at it, you look at Lone Pioneer, the 2 dirt starts, the 3 dirt starts.
Public's with you.
Yeah, I know. No, the more I look at it.
No, the public likes the 10 over the.
I took the 3, and I do know why. Our honor. I'm hoping Kendrick goes to lead with him.
The more I look at this race,
on.
it's
Bang.
I think it's 3. Yeah, I think maybe the 3 might run.
We all agree. We like the 3.
Yeah, 3. Andy's going to try to get the 1 in.
No, the 1 is just by goofy long
shot.
No,
I say this runs 3-1-4. Andy gets his 1 second, and I get my 4th.
3 and 6. I go 3-6 with some combination of 3-6, 9-10 with a bunch. Try to get horses like the 4.
I actually just punched
into
I'm going to punch it into Josh. Actually, you're actually in the money.
There is Kendrick Carmouche patiently waiting in the background in those pink silks on Our Honor. 7-2 on the 3 for trainer Dominic Schettino. Favorite, though, the 6, Mount Olympus at 9-5 on the board. Larry Collmus with the calls. We see the 2 horse there. Asher the Dasher broke through the gate.
He dashed.
He did.
Asher the Dasher.
They're going to bring him back around, get a quick look.
My nephew's name is Asher. Do you know that? And I'm still not betting him.
Hunch plays have a place in this game.
Not for me.
31-1 on the 2. And it looks like they're going to load him back up. Let's go to Larry Collmus.
Asher the Dasher behind the starting gate. Goes into line. Here's Our Honor. At odds of 3-1 moving in. Ninja Dust steps forward. And that'll leave 1 more to load, and that is mandatory payout. With Irad Ortiz Jr., they'll take the outside stall. Ninja Dust still a bit reluctant to go into line here. Looks like Ninja Dust is in now, and here comes mandatory payout up to the outside stall. And they're all in line. They're off, and Our Honor got left at the gate. Lost about 5 lengths at the beginning. It is Dr. DeVera's Way on the inside, out for the early lead. Asher the Dasher flashing some early foot too. Ninja Dust is up and on the pace with Mount Olympus, and Smidge on the outside of them. And then it's mandatory payout. Fortune's Boy, slow starting Our Honor, 5 lengths off the lead and down on the rail. And the trailer is Lone Pioneer. Racing for the far turn, 22.73, the first quarter mile for Dr. DeVera's Way, Asher the Dasher. These 2 matching strides on the lead. Outside of them is Mount Olympus running 3rd, and Smidge on the far outside. Our Honor is 5th behind a wall of horses as they make their way around the turn. Then mandatory payout, followed by Ninja Dust and Fortune's Boy on the inside. Wide open after a 46.78 half mile. Asher the Dasher, a slight lead as they turn for home. Dr. DeVera's Way cuts the corner. Mount Olympus on the outside, and now farther out, mandatory payout gets rolling, and mandatory payout to the front. Our Honor's trying to mount a charge in behind horses, and on the outside, it's Lone Pioneer. Mandatory payout, Lone Pioneer. Our Honor closing through on the inside. They're coming down to the line, and it is going to be a photo between Lone Pioneer and mandatory payout. Our Honor was 3rd, and Dr. DeVera's Way was 4th.
Like we said, we prefer the 9 over the 10. I think the 9 just barely
Rob
got
Atras
up.
ran 1-2 here, Lone Pioneer getting it done, but anybody that watched the race knows the 3-hour Honor should have won this race in a common gallop. He got completely left in here, and then he got stayed in traffic for about 3/8 of a mile, would you say, Paul?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he was just a week the best.
He loses the whole ball of wax by about a length, and the 10 gets the bob here, the 9 gets the bob over the 10. 10 switches wrongly when Irad hit him right-handed. But look at the 3 running up on heels. We already saw him in the backstretch, ready to get left. Now he's running up on heels. He's got the blue cap with the pink, and now he's behind horse. He's got nowhere to go, and he can't really push the button. Now he does, and now he's got nowhere to go again. Now he tries to get him to the outside. He's going to get sort of locked. But right here, Andy, you go, oh, my God, he might still win this race. I can't believe that he still had some punch left.
And he got completely left.
Yeah.
You know, all this is going on, and you're talking about a horse that broke good 2 lengths behind the field in here. We'll try to show you the start again. You know, it's not a whine. You know, he's just supposed to win this race. It's the head-on.
Post
that's the
3
head-on.
breaks inward.
You see him jumping up and breaking inward. We'll try to show you the pan. He just broke a couple lengths behind the field. When you break a couple lengths behind the field, you drop back about 4 or 5 lengths behind because you get that flat-footed break. He was going to win this race. We broke cleanly, but you know what? That's what racing's about. I mean, we saw 4 races today. Clearly, I would say 2 of them, the best horse did not win.
By the way, props to you.
Your
ran
one
fourth.
runs fourth. Dr. DeVera's way.
I went all one.
The other horse you're talking about was Payne that we saw check severely on the rail for Chad Brown back in race 7. 9, 10, 3, 1, and the stablemates. They know each other well, going right down to the wire. And in the end, it's the 9 who wound up going off the much better price of the 2, which we did not expect to be the case.
Weird. Yeah, the sprinter.
So we'll be back with prices. Close this out. 2 wins today for Junior Alvarado. More coming up on America's Day at the Races after our final timeout. Coming up right after this here on MSG+.
Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-old sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Runhappy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Runhappy, standing at Claiborne Farm. No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NYRABets.com.
Back on America's Day at the Races, look at post 3, our honor in the break, not sharp breaks inward. Kendrick Carmouche dead last.
So let's see. Watch from the beginning now. Kendrick tries to get the horse back in the race. Now watch the horse grab the bit, and this is what Andy and I were talking about. I can't believe this horse had steam, first of all, because he got left. Now watch this, because he's moving so fast, he has to pump the brakes in about 3, 2, 1, and this takes a lot of steam out of him. Right here, like you're gonna watch him stop. He dead has to stop right here. Look at his head go straight up, and he's got nowhere to go. And that took steam out of him. Again.
And he kept running.
The best horse sometimes doesn't win.
No.
NYRA Bets, late pick 5, $43,315. How about that?
How about $80,000 the last 2 days combined?
It's been amazing. There it is. That's what you had to try and come up with this afternoon. That was not an easy sequence. By the way, congrats, Rob Atras. He runs 1-2 here in the finale. Junior Alvarado, 2-win day. Lawrence Roman winning connections of the son of Pioneer of the Nile, Lone Pioneer. We're back on MSG Plus on Saturday, which is a tremendous card from 4 to 7:30 Eastern Time. We hope you join us then to check that out. We will see you on Saturday afternoon. Take care, everybody.